It is my honor to present what is my favorite award that we give out tonight, and it's the Emerging Company Award. And this award is the reason that we come together as a sector and as an industry organization, because it's about taking Ontario innovation, turning it into Ontario companies, and creating jobs for Ontarians. And that's what we're here to do. So it is very fitting that in the year that Sanofi Pasteur turns 100, that we celebrate another University of Toronto spin-off company. DVS Sciences started as part of a private company and then found a home at the University of Toronto. With help from all levels of government, funding and programs, they were able to build and market their first piece of equipment, and hopefully I get this right, the Cytoff mass cytometer. Okay, good for a non-science guy. With the marketed product, DVS was able to start raising funds, and the company made its first venture pitch in 2007. And they made that pitch in an office lent to them by, and this is the small world, Sanofi Pasteur. And by 2010, they were successful in raising almost $15 million in Series A financing. And even though most of that funding came from the United States, the factory that it funded was built in Markham, and it employs 60 Ontarians. They have a head office in California, which I think is a great move for the winter meetings, but they are very much an Ontario company. So Ontario innovation, academic partnership, government funding, and access to capital. All of that came together for DVS, and we need to repeat that process more often for Ontario Life Sciences to be successful. So here to tell you the rest of the story and what's next for DVS is the Chief Technology Officer, Scott Tanner.
So thank you very much, Jason. While the rest of my team is coming up here, all of DVS Sciences is incredibly honored by this award. I'd like to particularly point out those that could not have been done without, which is my co-founders, Olga Barnatsky, Dmitry Bandura, Vladimir Baranov, and our very first employee was Sergei Vorobiev, and Eileen represents the world's best assistant who actually keeps us functioning. And that's not nearly enough, because we wouldn't be where we are without our spouses, and we need to give our huge appreciation for the strength and the support they've given us, and Linda, thank you very much. And beyond that, Dr. John Dick was the first person outside of our little community who actually realized the importance of what we're doing. Not only is he a great scientist and a great human being, but he actually got us going, did the machinations that moved us into the University of Toronto to get our project started. And Rhonda Tannenbaum has been a long supporter for a long time and appreciate her support here. So DVS Sciences is, I think, a true Canadian success story. I'm going to repeat that at the end, just in case there's any confusion. But this has been a great example of the cooperation of the Ontario government, universities, and industry. I'm going to try to tell you a little bit about that. So we had this vision of building a new technology, make a new instrument, new reagents that would allow biologists to interrogate single cells, the proteomics, the cell phenotype, the signaling, functional signaling that makes that cell do something, that determines its state of health or its state of disease. And there's now lots of those instruments all over the world. We have 70 installations in Asia, Europe, North America, used to study the genesis of cells, the signaling that creates disease and health, and pharmaceutical companies, indeed, including even Sanofi, who use the instruments for rational drug discovery. And along the way, I must thank all of the Ontario government and agencies who supported us, the Ontario Genomics Institute, the Ministry for Research and Innovation, Ontario Institute for Cancer Research, which not only supported us in the very early days, but also bought our very first product, the Ontario Centres for Excellence, and the Health Technology Exchange. And all of those, together with a plethora of other funding agencies, allowed us to take our dream and turn it into a prototype, which eventually had commercial success. And having conceived our technology originally in industry, we came up with the first crisis. It wouldn't be an entrepreneurial story if there weren't some mind-numbing challenges along the way. And the first one was that it was too high risk, and we couldn't get it supported. And so with the magnanimity of the University of Toronto, we moved in there, we built our very first prototype, and once that was built, the university provided us an incubation facility that took us all the way to our first commercial products. You get to a point where you build product, and you're doing pretty good, you can build a couple a year. That's not really a business, and in fact, it's not even the business that we were after. We really want to bring the technology to the world to actually change the world. That's what scientists do. They change the world, that's their dream. And so we needed to raise some money. The unfortunate reality of the time, early 2007, 2010, was that raising venture capital in Canada for a tools company was just not to be. And so we ended up raising our Series A financing through a US-led syndicate, as Jason said, which hurt a fiercely nationalistic Canadian Ontario soul. We had to build a US headquarters, which is our commercialization center, but that funding allowed us to build our factory, build our research and development facilities and our manufacturing facilities in Markham, Ontario, and continues to expand that. Within 3 years, we had 89 employees, 59 of which worked daily in our Markham office, 30 of which are spread around the world, and we were profitable, and we were cash flow positive, and it was a good time for our venture capitalists to make an exit. And so 2 weeks ago, it was announced that Fluidigm Corporation had acquired DVS Sciences, and I think that it's a marvelous thing. And this is the turnaround that now says this is a good thing for Ontario. Fluidigm is the world's leader in single-cell genomics. DVS Sciences, I would say, is the world's leader in single-cell multidimensional proteomics, and together we make a single-cell juggernaut. We are the premier facility, premier source for single-cell biology. And I'm really happy to say that in all the course of that, my priority was to ensure the stewardship of our Ontario facility, and my investors supported that. And so this entity that evolves retains our Markham facility, our research facility, our manufacturing facility. We will continue on the dynamic growth path that we have been on and we plan to go on in the future. Markham facility is in fact the second largest facility in the whole Fluidigm organization, second only to the headquarters of the facility, and we're going to continue to grow. The only difference that you're going to see is that instead of being DVS Sciences, we're now going to become Fluidigm Canada. So thank you very much for the recognition. We're looking forward to a great path forward, and it's been a truly wonderful story of interaction of all levels of people building this company. Thank you.
Could Minister Meridia and Minister Matthews join us as well? Make your work here.